What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. I promise I have this video ready before the end of the year. I have to finish what I started. Today, we're finally gonna be talking about Pikmin 4. You guys know I'm a fan of the Pikmin series, and I have been wanting to talk about this for quite a while. Why did it take me over a year to talk about a brand new game that came out, well, a year? Well, I was busy with other games, and, well, some people don't know if I want to talk about other game series that aren't just Donkey Kong and Mario, and I guess Kirby too. Whatever franchises. But considering the state of the channel, considering the reviews, and YouTube's stupid algorithm, and other shit I'm not gonna say, I felt like it doesn't matter. I just want to talk about Pikmin again. So, yes, Pikmin 4. I'm finally going to be talking about this game. Let's just not waste any more time, and we're going to be finding out, is this the ultimate Pikmin experience? Let's find out. First things first, let's talk about the history with this game, kind of. So, back in, like, the Wii U era, we had this image specifically. Pikmin 4 is in development, and, you know, fans were patiently waiting for Pikmin 4. And then fans kept waiting, almost feeling like as long as a bunch of other forgotten franchises you could list. And we in 2026 or something like that, I forgot which year, we had this game revealed, Hey Pikmin on the 3DS. And fans started to speculate if this was the Pikmin 4 they were talking about, even though Miyamoto, I believe, said it technically wasn't. So, okay, I still need to play this game, by the way, so you can kill me, Pikmin fans. I'm not a true Pikmin fan, there you go. Anyway, yeah, so we just patiently wait to see if there was ever another Pikmin game, and fans were like, we were just waiting. And granted, I wasn't a Pikmin fan back then, so, like, I was kind of like, if it exists, I'll be happy for the fans or whatever. And then when I got into the series, like in, specifically, let's go to 2020, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. This was when Shadow Drops happened because, well, we know what the Earth was at that point. Basically, Pikmin 3 Deluxe. This was my chance to try out the series, and oh my god, I finally saw the vision. I really enjoyed Pikmin 3, and I really wanted to try out the other games. So I tried out Pikmin 1 because, well, I wanted to go by series order, kind of. I usually like to play games in the series order, unless it's like one that recently came out and I never played the older games, but yeah, just wanted to let you guys know on that. So yeah, I played Pikmin 1, and I really enjoyed it, minus the Pikmin AI BS. Granted, it's the first game in the series, so that's gonna happen. But it was still a classic game, and I can see why it's one of the most beloved GameCube games. And I did play Pikmin 2. Now, this one seems to be a little more divisive compared to the other Pikmin games, and I will admit, the pacing is weird, because you can't really speed through the game, kind of, and the caves, well, I didn't think most of them were that bad. I just felt like caves were just, you know, they were fine for the most part, but I won't lie, trying to speed through text was kind of my biggest problem with the game, in my opinion. That's probably a nitpick, because that's been a thing with some other games I could list, looking at you, but it didn't ruin the game. I still think Pikmin 2 is a good game. I personally just played the least of the Pikmin games, so there you go. And while I did enjoy both of those games, I just still felt like 3 was the Pikmin experience for me. Now, granted, it's probably due to the fact that it was the first one I played through, and when I got into the series, because it is a simple game, and it's linear, but I still enjoyed my time with it, and I didn't really mind the simpler game. Sometimes I don't mind playing simple games, because we don't need super challenging, crazy, difficult games, you know? I mean, not that I wouldn't mind a challenge, but sometimes I wouldn't mind playing a simple game. It never ruins my experience. Pikmin 3 is far from like a cakewalk game, but it was still a game I got into. Anyway, despite that, now that I played the Pikmin games, I was one of those fans waiting to see if there would be a Pikmin 4. This is what happens when I get into dormant franchises. So I felt like, oh man, it's not going to happen. And then, in September 2022, what happened? That's right, everybody. Pikmin 4 was real. Unfortunately, did not record my reaction because I was driving to class. Why they had to drop a direct on a day I went to class is beyond me. But it was still so cool to see Pikmin finally back for real this time, and it still felt it was crazy, honestly, despite that direct. I already made the joke. I don't need to make the joke again. Anyway, so that was the history of Pikmin 4. Now we fast forward into 2023. The game came out, and I was enjoying my sweet time with it. While people were talking about Switch 2, and we still are. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about the plot, shall we? So, Olimar crash lands his ship again, and it's up to you to find Olimar and find the rescue corps, which are 7 members you gotta look for. Now, this game has an basically make your own character, and I'm just gonna. There might be some criticisms because, well, I don't want to use I definitely moved away from the relevancy bias of this game, so I will try to address some criticisms. Not that much, thankfully, but still. Anyway, so yeah, making your own character. Personally, I thought this feature was, it's neat. I just personally don't think it makes the characters all that memorable, in my opinion, because, like, I'm gonna be real, if you told me with a straight face that you couldn't tell me the character's name other than Colin, then I wouldn't blame you, to be honest. Because I definitely do prefer, like, some more memorable casts, like Almar, Louis, Brittany, and hell, even Charlie. I'm not even a nostalgic Pikmin fan. I could easily recognize those characters a lot more. Even the president for Pikmin 2, unironically. Not that the cast is bad by any means, but the traits are kind of... It depends on your vibe, really, so... Yeah, but it didn't really ruin much for me, so I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. Anyway, let's move on with that. So yeah, the gameplay itself is about what you expect. If you played the Pikmin game before, you know how this works. Now, I will say with the beginning of the game, some people have criticized the beginning to be a bit on the slow side, and I will admit, if you're a newcomer, it's probably understandable, considering not many people have played Pikmin. But if you're a longtime fan, I can kind of understand. I could easily just speed through the text, because I know how to... Well, I still want to learn, because it's a new Pikmin game after a decade. But, yeah, I can kind of understand the tutorial in the beginning being annoying, especially on the repeat playthrough. So, yeah. But it didn't really ruin much for me, so I was able to, like, okay, get into the game really well. So, yeah. But, yeah. So yeah, the gameplay, throw your Pikmin, find some collectibles, and you know what to do. Try to make some progress through different types of areas. And now with the new gameplay being Ochi, a dog. I honestly was like, okay, a dog makes this game a 10 out of 10 game. Maybe not all of them, but still. A dog, I've seen some interesting opinions with Ochi. Sometimes it makes the game a little easier, sometimes it's a cute dog. Listen, a game having a dog means I'm gonna really enjoy the game, so I don't care. I love Ochi, honestly, and I think they should have this in Pikmin 5. Yeah, I said it. But yeah, I really love Ochi, and I really do think he helps in certain sessions, which we're gonna talk about later. So yeah. But yeah, the gameplay it definitely has a different perspective to it. And, it's interesting, because it still plays the same, but you have a different perspective, and I really enjoyed it for that, honestly, so yeah. We used to have some typical Pikmins that we see, the regular ones we see throughout the game. We have the red Pikmin with fire, yellow Pikmin with electricity, blue with the water, ice Pikmin, one of the new types, freezes, tries to, you know, are resistant to ice and able to freeze enemies. These were, like, the Pikmin I used a lot because they're kind of just kill enemies very quickly. We have the rock Pikmin, of course, the wing Pikmin, purple Pikmin, white Pikmin, and then another new type of Pikmin being the glow Pikmin. These are basically, oh my god, we get to play during the nighttime. That's crazy. So basically, oh, excuse me, the glow Pikmin are missions that you play, like, around when you keep progress through the game. These are nighttime missions, where you have to protect the enemy base, and, protect the base where the glow Pikmin are from enemies during the night. Because you know when enemies come out during the night, right? Yeah, that's basically what you have to do. And honestly, I thought I was gonna hate these, to be honest, because at first I found them very, very, very difficult to progress. Like, the later ones got really difficult with more enemies and stuff, but there has been a few tricks I've seen online to make these a lot easier, and no, you don't have to really use the items in order to cheese them, because that's what I first did, until I figured out an easier way to do it. But they can be difficult, but I really like these missions, honestly, because it definitely adds a, you know, tries to make it stand out enough from the other Pikmin games. So, yeah. The areas themselves are really fun to explore. Sun Speckled Terrace, the Ceres Shores, which I love this area so much. We have the Heroes Highway. We have the Sun. We have the Blooming Blossom Arcadia, if I spelled that correctly, and and of course we have treasures to collect, which I said earlier. Finding different types of treasures you can collect throughout the game. You can get a goddamn 3DS, which is really, or Game Boy Advance. I think it's a Game Boy Advance, but whatever. But yeah, I think I pretty much talked about a lot with Pikmin 4, how, it's like, a lot of the things I could say about this game is pretty much a standard in Pikmin, but it's still, and you have a nice hub world to explore as well, depending on what missions you want to do, get some items and stuff, and just, do at your own pace, and it feels nice to play, honestly, and, alright, it's just a nice, relaxing experience. Relaxing in quotation marks, obviously. Alright, now let's go over some issues. I said a couple of issues already, but there's just one of them. The freaking auto-lock. So, if you don't understand this, basically, it's like, when you're throwing Pikmin and, with the controller, think you're aiming with your thing, you get to aim at a certain thing, but the annoying thing is, it auto-locks on the character, on the thing, so you can't move. When you're trying to move your character, the cursor doesn't move well, honestly. Well, is there a way to fix this? Well, guess what? You cannot. There's no options. I don't know why Nintendo is so afraid of having different options for players, honestly. Like, turning off the ally system in Super Mario Party Jamboree. Joking. I like the ally system there, honestly. But, anyway, I don't know, it's kind of annoying how it does that. It doesn't really ruin the game. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it just definitely gets a little annoying and stuff. And that's kind of like my only problem, really, I have with Pikmin 4. And I guess I'm gonna admit it, and I don't know, and I don't think this is controversial. I don't think the music's that memorable, to be honest. I mean, I don't think Pikmin music is supposed to be spectacular. Like, I can mention Donkey Kong, Sonic, Mario, Zelda, a bunch of other popular franchises, even some of the other ones having banger soundtracks. Pikmin's supposed to be more chill, but even the chill music aside, I don't think they're too memorable for me, honestly. That's like my only other nitpick I have with this. But it's not bad, just not too memorable for me. But yeah. Okay, I think I talked about everything. And the ending? I'll let y'all see that for yourselves. I know this game's been out for like a year, but boy, that ending. You're gonna have to experience that on your own, alright? So yeah, I talked a lot about Pikmin with the new mechanics, the new characters, finding everybody, and, the gameplay and stuff. So, do I think this is the ultimate Pikmin experience? Well, that depends on your vibe. A lot of the online discussions I see with this game tends to be more of like, is this really like a... Because, like, if you're a longtime Pikmin fan, this is definitely going to be feeling different compared to the other Pikmin games. And that says a lot for different Switch games, per se, for better or worse. But, still, I definitely think, in my opinion, and even without the relevancy bias, I think this is my favorite Pikmin game, honestly. It's just so cozy to play through, and, I can just have a fun time with it, regardless of the issues. I could debate Pikmin 3 being probably my favorites, honestly. I don't know. I'm still debating. I don't know. Relevancy bias. I think Pikmin 3 was just the experience for me. Maybe it's because it's the first one I played, to be honest. And I just think 3 is a little too linear for... I don't mind linear games, but I just think 4 has, the more, worlds to, explore, honestly. And the caves, actually, are not too bad here. So, yeah. So overall, Pikmin 4, yeah, it's a banger game. Best Pikmin game in my opinion. I covered every Pikmin game before the year end. And if you're commenting about Hey Pikmin on the 3DS, let's just move on. Anyway, so yeah, that's Pikmin 4. Finally, I got this video done. Holy shit, I almost forgot about this, by the way. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of Pikmin 4? And what is your personal favorite Pikmin game? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.